Danny, thank you so much for taking some time today to talk to me about Dear Evan Hansen. Congratulations on the role.
No, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for your interest, and I love talking about Dear Evan Hansen.
So I think one of the things I really took away from it was its kind of dual message that we can take away. Well, actually, I mean, besides encompassing everyone, specifically teenagers and how they treat each other in school, but then also parents and how they communicate with their kids. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think that I think there are multiple messages with the film. I think you've struck on maybe the two principal messages. I think not only is it important for teenagers, but also adults who are suffering with mental health challenges, whether it's depression or anxiety or feelings of loneliness. That they understand that they're not alone. They're not alone in how they feel, because that presents itself in all different kinds of ways in a lot of different people, especially as a result of this pandemic. And to pay attention to those feelings, to understand that there are resources and there are people out there who truly care. And then, like you said, I think the other message is for those people who aren't suffering from those mental health challenges. Perhaps the movie helps to highlight and underline what those ailments look like, and maybe our movie helps to reverse that stigma. And by bringing awareness to it, maybe we could all just be a little bit more empathetic and thoughtful and available to those people who are dealing with that.
I think it struck a chord with me because I'm a parent, but I really noticed the similarities in the way that Evan's parents, Evan's mom treats him, and the way that Colton, his parents treat him. They're very different, of course, very different circumstances, but they're both getting very superficial attention from their parents. Would you say that?
Mm, I wouldn't say that. I would say that parenting styles are very different. Throughout. No two parents parent the same way, even within the same household, because we're all brought up differently.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that Evan, I would say that his mother is a single mom, and as any single parent knows, it's very difficult to be in two places at once.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that relationship pays homage to the difficulty and the challenges of being a single parent. But I wouldn't say it's superficial. I would say that it's challenging, and the responsibility of providing for the household, being at work, and also looking after your child's well-being and mental health is an incredible challenge. I would also say that it's different in what Connor's experience was in the Murphy Mora household. I wouldn't call it superficial. I think that Connor received the best care that could be afforded. As is detailed in the film, he went to pretty much every treatment of every sort possible. It's just a very complicated, mental health is a very complicated thing to try and overcome. And, the same thing that works for one adolescent doesn't work for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
For one patient doesn't work for another. So, I think what I hope the movie does is that it shows that, there's not one face to mental health, and there's not one treatment to mental health. It's that makes our story, I think, complicated and complex, and hopefully it mirrors real life.
I think what I meant by that was it was not really that it was superficial, but that they personally don't feel like they were getting the quote unquote quality of love, even though his mom is doing everything possible and they're doing everything possible in their own way, but in their own state of being, they don't necessarily felt they didn't feel like they were getting that love when they really were. I think that's
Sure.
really more what I was getting towards.
I think that's fair, Emmanuel. I think that is probably fair from their point of view. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, I think that like I said, it's really difficult to really put your finger on what is going to be the effective treatment.
Mhm.
But I think the positive side of that is that there are a lot of different ways of focusing on this. You know, I think it's a pandemic of mental health,
Yeah.
especially throughout this pandemic. But I think you have your finger right on it in terms of, sometimes the way that the parents are trying to treat it, are trying to help their child isn't really what they need. And so, mental health professionals, that's why they're so valuable.
And you hit that on the note as far as what we've been through the last year and a half, almost 2 years. And I think this movie is very timely, as it kind of also sends a message for us to reach out to one another regardless of age, and really check on each other really before it's too late.
Absolutely. I think I think that's the prevailing, message. I think there's also a message in that, self-acceptance of who you are,
Hmm.
you know, and, being able to have, to build your self-esteem and not to try to be somebody you're not. I
Yeah.
think that's also a message throughout the film.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with self-acceptance all the time as well.
Oh, we
Yeah.
all do. We all
Yeah.
do, and that's the other theme. Amandla plays it so incredibly well in the film that she's the student leader, the
Hmm.
one who
Yeah.
gets up on the mic and seems like she has her whole world figured out, and yet she's suffering from mental health issues too. So you know, it it carries so many different there's so many different ways that mental health presents itself in so many different people, and like you said, it's important that we all uh, empathize and try and help as much as we can with people who are suffering from it.
So let's talk a little bit about Larry. Tell us a little bit about him, the way we see him grieving in the film, and just kind of his personality.
I think Larry is well, his name is Lorenzo Mora, who he goes by Larry, and he is the stepfather, Connor's stepfather,
Hmm.
and he joins the family after Connor's biological father passes tragically. So Larry, in a way, is joining the family and trying to put things together, trying to fix things, uh, and his stepson Connor, commits suicide early in the film tragically, and that the way that Larry grieves is very much trying to stay strong for his family. It's that that archetype of
Hmm.
the male figure in the family who tries to stay strong for the rest of the family. Um, and in setting up that archetype, the movie and Steven Levenson, the writer, and Stephen Chbosky, the director, and Benj and Justin, the composers and lyricists of the film, uh, they break down that archetype. So they set it up, and then we blow it up because the film is about authenticity, so being your most authentic self,
Hmm.
and ultimately through the grieving process, through Larry's anger, through his guilt, through his pain, that mask of strength and masculinity is ultimately ripped off. And once he's able to get in touch with who he really is and the loss of his son, and attempting to truly grieve, that's when we really see who he is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Before I have to let you go, what is your favorite number in the movie?
Oh man. Uh, I probably would say, my answer changes every time I get asked this question, by the way. Anything Ben Platt sings is my favorite number in the film. I think that he is, such a unique and talented artist, singer, actor. He even dances a little bit in the film. So
Yes.
he's a singular artist. One of the songs that impacts me is Julianne Moore's song, "So Big, So Small." It's a song about, specifically about motherhood, but I think it could be said to be, a song about parenthood or single parenthood.
Mhm.
And to me, it's incredibly impactful, not only in the way she performs it and sings it, but in the music and the lyrics that Benj and Justin were able to put to paper.
Danny, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Congratulations on the role.
Emmanuel,
Fun.
thank you for your interest, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you, man.
Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Same here.
Take care.
Take care.